What's up, people of the internet? My name is Hondro, and I'm seated here again today with Travis Thug Life Williams.
What's up?
And we're talking Captain America, Civil War,
Woot.
movie for theaters, Avengers 3, Thor and Hulk aren't there because they're busy, Marvel just didn't want to pay them, get fucked.
Spider-Man.
So, general thoughts on Civil War.
Loved it.
Loved it. How? Give me 3 reasons you loved it. I'll give you 3 reasons. I also loved it.
All right. I loved the fight scene, the choreography that they did with the movie. I loved the relationship between Cap and Bucky.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite things from the previous Captain America films that they had. And then also, I liked seeing Tony Stark as somewhat of a villain.
All right. I agree with you on one of those things. That the relationship between Cap and Bucky is essentially the through point of the whole movie. That was good. What else? What was the first thing you said?
Well,
the fight scenes? The fight scenes sucked, dude.
See, I loved them.
They were like that opening scene. The first 45 minutes of the movie, I was bored out of my mind. I'll be honest with you.
I wasn't.
Even that scene with Crossbones at the very beginning, I was so freaking bored out of my mind. I was like, this scene, the fighting, all the choreography was cut 10 different times. So every time Scarlett Johansson was throwing a punch, it was you'd see it from 4 different angles. Same thing with Captain. Every little bit of that whole opening sequence was edited to oblivion, and it felt choppy and I didn't believe that any of the actors were doing any of the actual fighting.
I didn't notice that at all. I was just
the first 45 minutes of this movie bugged the hell out of me.
I loved it.
The first 45 minutes. Okay, I'm just gonna get this off my chest, and then I'll tell you things I liked. The first 45 minutes of this movie bugged the hell out of me. It was so slow, such bureaucracy bullshit, more self-loathing with Iron Man feeling sorry for himself because more people died, innocents. That's war, buddy. And I'm sorry, Captain America understands that because he's a soldier and he's not a whiny piece of rich bullshit baby back bitch.
Well, his woman left him too, and he was being a little mopey
about
that
too.
No.
Tony Stark since the first. I'm gonna go on a rant here. Tony Stark since the first Avengers movie has just become the biggest bitch in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has to offer. He is so mopey and pathetic, it's ridiculous. All of his decisions are based solely on emotional thinking at the time. For a guy that's arguably one of the smartest people on the planet
in this universe.
Yeah, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he makes every decision based on almost pure emotion. And it's ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
He reacts to everything like a child. He's like, okay, Vision blows
War Machine
out of the sky and almost kills him. Falcon apologetically lands to say, he's like, I'm so sorry.
He was trying to save him.
He's like, I'm so sorry, Tony, that this happened. And Tony blows him back. Doesn't do shit to Vision when he flies over. Tony, he's just an emotional wreck, dude. After the first Avengers, Iron Man 3, he's a mopey, just miserable human being. Age of Ultron, he creates freaking Ultron and almost destroys the entire planet.
Because he saw a vision from freaking Scarlet Witch.
No, he's an idiot.
Well, that's why he created Ultron, though. That's the whole purpose of the character.
God.
And he had, I agree with you. He's
so much about Tony Stark's character bothers me. He is the only one that should have to sign the whatever accords.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that's causing all the problems. Him and Thor, actually. Because the only reason that the first Avengers movie happens and New York gets destroyed is because Thor and Odin decide not to do anything about Loki.
This is true.
Loki, the Hulk, and Iron Man all need to sign those accords because they.
Thor, because I don't think Loki would sign.
Oh, sorry. I meant to say Thor. So out of the Avengers, Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk should all have to sign those accords because they're without a doubt the most dangerous 3 out of the bunch.
Yeah.
Vision he's like pure intellect and does things. He doesn't have he doesn't really make emotional decisions. He had a little thing with Scarlet Witch,
which is from the comics,
but he doesn't have like he basically doesn't have the capacity to make decisions based on emotion because he's not built that way because he's essentially like a cyborg kind of thing.
Well, and like them blaming
Scarlet Witch is super dangerous too.
Yeah, but you can't blame her.
Yeah, but I don't think she should have to sign the Accords because
I don't.
Well, I don't know. She was working with
the Avengers.
But she was working with in Age of Ultron. She was working with Ultron
and Hydra, kind of.
Yeah,
but yeah,
so maybe throw Scarlet Witch in there. But see, Captain America is in his absolute right to say, "I will not agree to signing that shit. It's ridiculous. Go to hell. You can't tell me what to do. I've done nothing but serve this country and be a hero and save people's lives.
And be honorable.
Have people died in the process? Yes. Am I personally responsible for killing any of those people? I'm speaking as Captain America. Absolutely not. All right, we're three things I like about the movie.
Let's go there because you got just took down the Marvel Cinematic Universe pretty quickly.
All right, so I really like the story between Cap and Bucky. I agree with you 100% on that. Through line, very good. What else did I like? I did like that all of the characters that were included were there for a reason, and they didn't just shoehorn Black Panther. Spidey was kind of shoehorned in there,
but I loved it so much.
But Tony Stark had a reason to bring Spider-Man in because they needed somebody that was powerful. So, and he knew about Spider-Man, so that he wasn't just shoved in there out of nowhere.
Well, he was
and they set it up well to where Tony personally goes to get him and stuff like that. So that was nice.
Which they're kind of like in the comic books. But the reason I like that because he brought Spider-Man in to take down Cap, because he's fast, he's strong.
Yeah.
There was at one point he got a car thrown at him and he's like, "Oh, you drop this," and throws it right back. But the thing I loved about the Spider-Man thing is in 30 minutes we got the best fucking Spider-Man.
And I will say Ant-Man was kind of shoehorned in there a little bit.
I loved Ant-Man in that too.
Ant-Man was great solely because he turned into Giant Man.
Right.
If he hadn't turned into Giant Man in this movie, they would have totally wasted putting him in it.
Right.
That was worth Paul Rudd being in the movie at all, was to see him turn into Giant Man, because that I'm gonna say that out of the airport fight was that was the thing that got me the most excited, where it's I'm gonna try this, and if I split in if I get torn in half, so be it. And I was like, shit, he's gonna turn into Giant Man.
Well, I love he's like, I've only tried this once and I passed out after I did it.
Yeah. So that was my third favorite thing in the movie.
Well, see, go back to my Spider-Man thing. I love the fact that we got this Spider-Man, and in 30 minutes we got the best Spider-Man out of now 5 movies. They got I was so happy with it.
I was pleasantly surprised by Tom Holland. I didn't really expect anything. All I'd been hearing about this movie is Spider-Man kills it, Spider-Man does this, Spider-Man that, Spider-Man, and then I go and see it, and that was the other thing about this movie is my expectations for it
pretty high.
Were super high, so it's really easy for me to pick out the things I didn't like, whereas going to see a movie I know nothing about that hasn't been hyped to death by fans and by critics alike,
right?
That when you go to see a movie like this and it's been this hyped, it's really easy. I will say this movie it's an excellent film. It's not the best Marvel movie in my opinion. I think the first Avengers movie is still a more fun movie to watch than this movie.
I can see that. This is probably my number 2, I think.
And it has more to do with it has everything to do with the stakes of this movie. Because a movie titled Captain America Civil War with Tony Stark and Captain America on the cover, you pretty much know since Tony is ostensibly the villain, even though there's a villain that is separate from them. Tony Stark is ostensibly the villain of this movie because he's the one that's inciting the whole thing, trying to force them to sign all these initiatives, gearing up with the government to kind of cram them all into this whatever into these accords,
like being this police force for
yeah.
the governments.
So Tony Stark is ostensibly the villain. There is a separate villain which was really weak in my opinion.
I will talk about that because I have a problem with that villain as well.
He was really weak in my opinion, but so the stakes couldn't really be lower in my opinion because much like Batman v Superman, Batman and Superman aren't going to kill each other, but in Batman v Superman, Batman is trying to kill Superman.
Yeah.
When they do fight in that brief moment, Batman is really trying to kill Superman. He doesn't because of Martha. But when they are fighting, Batman wants blood. He is trying to kill Superman the entire time. And I will say there is one point where Tony Stark is really trying to kill Bucky.
Right.
In that final fight scene. Tony Stark is actively trying to kill Bucky. But like that airport scene, while it was really awesome, they literally have a moment where Black Widow and Hawkeye are fighting, and Hawkeye's like, we're still friends, right? And then she's like, depends on how hard you punch me. Come on! There's no stakes there. Vision doesn't want to hurt anybody.
He doesn't.
Vision doesn't want to hurt anybody. Scarlet Witch isn't trying to kill anybody. None of the Avengers are actually trying to kill or even seriously injure one another. Yeah, they're throwing cars at each other that are exploding and stuff like that, but they're all superheroes, and they know that no one was throwing cars at Black Widow.
Well, see,
and no one was throwing cars at Hawkeye. Well, see, they were throwing cars at the other super-powered people.
Well, the thing that I liked about it was they even called him out for the pulling the punches thing. Because Scarlet Witch throws Black Widow away from Hawkeye. She told him, quit pulling your punches. I love that.
But everyone was pulling their punches. Right, there was no stakes.
They didn't want to kill each other. They wanted to arrest them.
Yeah, all they wanted to do was stop each other. And there's no stakes there. None of them are going to die. The only person that even gets injured is War Machine. When he gets blown out of the sky.
And paralyzed, which was weird.
And Tony gets they all get cuts and scrapes and stuff, but the only one that gets really injured is War Machine. See,
Tony was just a pissy little bitch this entire movie. No
Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know why they made this decision, but all they've done is made him. I was literally thinking, I was like, dude, are you on your period again? Get over yourself.
That's my problem.
Stop listening to people when they're coming to you and saying you killed my son. He did not the lady that he meets in the hallway by the elevator,
which is weird.
He did not kill that kid.
He tried to save everybody.
The kid died as a part of collateral damage. Oh, well, if you want to say that he created Ultron and Ultron basically killed the kid,
right?
Sure. So you can make that leap. But he is not personally responsible for that kid's death.
No, he's not.
After Ultron became self-aware, all the decisions, everyone that died because of Ultron is on Ultron.
I agree with that.
Tony Stark was trying to do something that he thought was right. It turned out that it didn't work out in his favor and became something bad. Is it his fault? He did create it in a way. He's not actively killing kids.
No, he's not.
It's ridiculous. He needs to get over himself. Just continue. Retire. There's no reason you need to be Iron Man anymore. There's people that have way more power that don't need a suit that can malfunction and that can be hacked and everything else. There's way more actual, augmented people that can do his job better and not worry about the self-loathing of innocent people died. That's why you need people like Black Widow. That's why you need people like Captain America. They understand what war is. They get it. They were basically born and bred to be soldiers.
Yep.
They should be leading the charge. Iron Man should have no say. He is basically a psychotic billionaire who has created a machine that allows him to try to police the world. He doesn't have.
See, I get why he does it. It's just the fact that the last 2 to 3 movies, they've made him this character that, okay, I was all right with him having PTSD or whatever after Avengers.
Yeah,
because he
have it for one movie.
Right, exactly. But they
stop the self-loathing there.
But he should have been like drinking or something because they wasted that storyline in
No,
Iron Man 2.
they cut that out of Iron Man 3. He was supposed to be like a full-blown alcoholic.
Right, because they should have done Demon in the Bottle.
And they cut that out because they didn't want to like...
Which is bullshit.
They didn't want to make Tony too dark of a character.
Well, the problem is they kind of did that part of that storyline in Iron Man 2, though. Where they made him like an idiot. Oh, I'm peeing in my suit. Blah, blah, blah. Fucking dumb shit.
I don't know why everyone likes Iron Man in these movies. Robert Downey Jr. is a good actor.
He's very charismatic.
He's very charismatic. They need to stop making his character so unlikable. I don't know why. I'll be honest with you. After the first Iron Man, I don't know why people like Iron Man.
Well, see,
He's not likable.
Well,
at least in the first Iron Man, he creates the Iron Man suit initially to escape from being held hostage by freaking terrorists that want him to create weapons for him.
And are using his weapons to hurt
people. He has a purpose in that first movie.
Right.
After that, he's just an arrogant douchebag who, at the end of the first Iron Man, declares, I am Iron Man. Because he wants to be famous. He should have no right. He should have been arrested right then. You are Iron Man? How many crimes against humanity have you committed? You're going to jail, Tony Stark. I don't care how rich you are. You're a crazy person. You took it too far. You supplied weapons to terrorists.
Well, look who the police force was. It was freaking Hydra. Like, seriously.
Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't a police force. But either way...
It's kind of a police force. They put it together, the Avengers, as like a task force joint thing to save the world.
As a trilogy, from the first Captain America movie to...
Third,
Civil War. What was the second one? Winter Soldier. To Winter Soldier to Civil War. There is a nice through line with Captain America, and especially Captain America and his relationship with Bucky between Winter Soldier to this movie. That carries this movie on its own. Having the other heroes in there is nice. Black Panther, I do want to give props to how they introduced Black Panther.
Chadwick Boseman.
And he was one of the only characters, him and who else? So Iron Man and Black Panther were the only characters that I can think of right now that were truly out for blood at any point in the movie.
Yep.
Black Panther wanted to kill Bucky because he thought Bucky basically was responsible for his dad's death.
Yes.
Black Panther wanted blood. He was even going after Captain America violently. He scratched claw marks into Cap's vibranium shield because his stuff is made out of vibranium. That's hardcore, man.
That's pretty sick.
Nobody damages Cap's shield. That shit's impenetrable, except by more vibranium. And that scene where they were chasing each other, I thought that was a really good action sequence, and it wasn't cut to hell.
Like, see, that's what I like about the Captain America movies, though. They always have these really good car chase scenes.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier and Civil War both have these two great chase scenes, and I just love that about these movies. Yeah. But like, what did you not like besides Tony Stark in this movie?
Well, I mean, that was my biggest thing, and then the first 45 minutes are just super boring.
What about the villain? Like,
okay,
can I talk about this real quick?
Go ahead.
All right. So the villain of this movie, who is orchestrating all this bad shit happening so he can control the Winter Soldier and pretty much have Winter Soldier and Tony Stark and Iron Man kill each other, is Helmut Zemo, which is, if you're a fan of the comic books like I am, Baron Zemo.
Oh, and I recognize that name, and I thought it was... Isn't that the guy that becomes the floating head?
No, that's MODOK.
Yeah, but I thought his name... Because he
Zemo,
was human.
Zemo,
who is Zemo?
Zemo is a character...
Because I recognized it.
There's been two versions of this character, but the character dates all the way back to... He was alive when Captain America was alive in the 1940s to World War One.
Okay.
Or World War II. And he has something happen to him, and he ends up like becoming like a super soldier like Cap because of this thing called like Chemical X that Hydra created.
Okay.
But this is the Earth's Mightiest Heroes version of the character because it's a little easier. But he has to keep taking these treatments to stay alive. But he's like I said, he's a super soldier and he wants to kill Cap. That made more sense to me because I thought we were getting that character, but his outfit's ridiculous. And I didn't think they were actually going to do it. The way they did it in this film was...
He's just a regular guy.
He was a soldier in Sokovia
Yeah.
that his family died during the Avengers Age of Ultron incident, and he blamed Iron Man.
He's just a regular guy who's pissed off at the Avengers because his family died during the Sokovia incident, and that was basically the whole point of this movie. Was he orchestrates this plot to get the Avengers to fight each other? That was it.
It was pretty much about him getting them, like, using the fact that what we found out in the previous movie from Zola, that the Starks were murdered by Hydra, and it was pretty much concluded that it was the Winter Soldier that killed Tony's parents, and that's what made Tony go after the Winter Soldier, like, even harder after he found out the Winter Soldier was innocent.
That was the turning point, like, right there. That's basically the third act climax, is when they're watching that video, and basically Tony sees the Winter Soldier kill his parents, and he's like, "I've had enough. You're dead."
And, like, he goes after Cap because Cap's trying to save Bucky, and he's trying to kill Cap. Like, he's trying to beat the shit out of Cap, and because he realizes Cap knew the entire time, which is funny. I want him to talk to Black Widow.
That's true.
I want him to talk to Black Widow because Black Widow fucking knows too. She was there. Like, that's what pisses me off. He's really angry at Cap.
Well, like I said, he's an emotional child throughout this whole.
Yeah.
Ever since the first Avengers movie, he's just been an emotional wreck. Like, he's never recovered. He just keeps making, like, more and more emotional decisions as the movies go forward.
No wonder Pepper's up with him.
And I really hope they don't make another standalone Iron Man movie.
They're talking about it.
I really hope he just he just says, "Look, I've made enough mistakes as Iron Man because they've shoehorned his character into being an embarrassment. I've made enough mistakes as Iron Man. I'm retiring. And if they want to have War Machine take up his mantle and be the new Iron Man, fine. If they want to just retire Iron Man for a while, fine."
That's what they've done in the comics.
There doesn't need to be an Iron Man. Like I said, there's way more powerful people on the planet than him. And out of anybody, like I said, the 4 people that should be required to sign it are Tony Stark, because he's a terrible human being who has no control and makes only emotional decisions. Thor, because he's basically an idiot who doesn't understand how the human race works and has no concern for anything other than what's Natalie Portman.
Well, I don't even know if that's true anymore.
Yeah. And can't control his brother Loki, who's just wants to see everything get destroyed. And then the Hulk, he needs to sign it just because when he hulks out, he basically loses control.
Do you mean Bruce Banner signing it, or?
Well, Bruce Banner as the Hulk needs to sign it as a thing saying, "Look, they basically need to find a way how to control him, because he is the most dangerous out of all of them, regardless."
Yeah, well,
which is why they should make a Planet Hulk movie, just because that idea is great.
Yes.
And then Scarlet Witch, she's just super dangerous, so they should make her have to sign it.
See,
everybody else is just business as usual. They're just kicking ass and taking names.
Another Easter egg that I really liked was them bringing back Ross, that old man.
Oh, the guy from Incredible Hulk.
From the Incredible Hulk, keeping that as a through line that, hey, that movie is still part of this universe. Well, because
dude, it's got a different actor as the Hulk.
Well,
it's got Edward Norton.
I know, but it's still part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They still count that. My thing is cool. The thing is cool is maybe they're setting him up to be the Red Hulk, which I really want.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be freaking awesome.
I'd be down for Red Hulk.
Yeah,
on Planet Hulk.
I just want to see another Hulk. Like,
I am excited to see the next Thor movie because Hulk is in it.
Well, see, and I also like the fact they kept mentioning Hulk and Thor throughout the movie.
Well, they didn't keep mentioning it. They said, "Well, where Banner and Thor."
Well,
Banner and the Asgardian, or however.
But I liked where they were having the conversation. I think Tony or Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow brought up, where do you think the Hulk Bruce would stand on this? Like, they were literally talking about, would Bruce sign the paperwork, or would he?
I think the Hulk would absolutely, or Bruce Banner would absolutely sign.
See, I don't think he would, because he'd be afraid the government is turning him into a weapon. That was the whole reason. Well, that was the whole reason he ran away from the government.
But the government can't make the Hulk do anything.
Right, but they're making the Avengers a political police force.
He probably would have sided with Captain America.
I think he would too.
I think you're right.
As science bros as him and Tony are, that's what. But I like that they kept talking about it, because hopefully we'll see their side of what's going on in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I'm excited for that movie. Overall, really like the film. It's very well put together. Besides the first 45 minutes, which are just boring as shit.
What did you like? Oh, sorry, before we wrap up, did you like the post-credit scenes?
Remind me again.
Well,
the Spider-Man one was
funny. I thought it was funny.
Stupid.
Well, I like the fact that his aunt's like trying to, his hot Aunt May is trying to, see like he got beat up because he was in a fight with Captain America and the other Avengers.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, some guy hit me named Steve, and he's like trying to hide the tech that Tony gave him. But the first post-credit scene was they're gonna freeze Bucky again until they get the implants out of him, because by the end of the movie, Cap and Iron Man.
No, see, Bucky's a stand-up guy. He says, "Look, I'm dangerous because I can be controlled by other people if they know like my activation code.
Right.
So basically, shut me down, put me in cryo
until we get that out.
Figure out how to get this crap out of my head. Then you can wake me up, and we'll be best buddies again. And see you later, Steve.
And the coolest part about it was that he's in Wakanda, because they pan out and you see the jungle and the Black Panther statue.
Yeah.
Or the idol. I don't know, but then. My favorite part was the way they ended the movie. Sorry, the way they ended the movie was Tony and Cap just beat the living piss out of each other to the point where Cap uses his shield and hits the Iron Man armor to break the power core.
Yeah.
And he gets up, grabs it,
Tony Stark.
and Tony Stark's yelling at it. And he's
Cry about that, emo bitch.
Well, this was the most telling thing. Like, I felt like when Tony Stark says, like,
I made that. My dad made that shield.
That's not your shield.
That's not yours.
And
leave it.
But Cap just throws it down and just doesn't give a shit. And he leaves.
He shouldn't.
And Cap, he sends Tony a note saying, "Hey, I'm sorry for what I did."
I still believe because Cap's the bigger man.
And he's like, I still believe what I'm.
Tony Stark's a baby bag bitch.
What my side was doing is right. I still
because he is right.
Well, yeah. But then
he's Captain America.
But he sends him a note and telling him that, and
he's a goddamn American.
He leaves him a phone. Say, if you ever need the help,
call me.
Because
I'm a stand-up guy.
After being a badass and going to the raft and breaking out all the other Avengers.
Yeah. Speaking of the raft, this video's over. We liked the movie. Tell us what you guys thought in the comments. Was it better or worse than Batman v Superman?
So much better. So much better.
Leave that in the comments below. Once again, this has been Loco Hondro and Travis Thug Life Williams. Follow us on Twitter if you're not doing so already. Twitter. Twitter.com /the Loco Hondro /the _1 TVW. We'll see you guys next time.
I make it complicated.
Take it easy. You just make it simple. That's how you do everything. You keep shit simple. Batman's pissed at Superman because Superman destroyed Metropolis. He thinks he's a threat. That's all the motivation Batman needs.
That's all Batman ever needs.